Okay, so we're back. So this episode, I'm gonna call it really, it's not by my power, but by His. And really, this is a message to anyone who needs to hear this. Okay. So, in doing all this documentation of my journey, of my challenge, of a heart failure to heart transplant to even recovery as I'm going through this, the question worth asking, and as I ask it, let me ask you that question. And I want you to sit with it before you answer. Why does it matter whether or not someone documents their struggle? What is the point of dragging the difficult, unglamorous, relentless grind of a personal challenge into the open air where other people can witness it? Is it vanity? Is it performance? Is it the cheap comfort of applause? And no, it's not. Okay? It's not any of those things. In my perspective of how I'm approaching this, it is something far more primal and far more important. It is the act of leaving a mark on the world that says the struggle was and is real, it was hard, it cost something, and it was worth it. You know, even if one person, as I document this video or to talk about, even if one person looks at what I have done or what you have done, if you're documenting something, and finds the courage to begin their own climb, then you have what it is that you paid for, your debt to the world in full, and continue on doing it by providing, okay, the openness and the vulnerability to let other people see your challenges that you're going through. So that is the entire architecture of why I'm doing this personal journey through videos as I'm documenting it. Not for recognition, not as a catalog of personal achievement, but really as evidence. You know, evidence that transformation is possible. Evidence that the road through hardship does not have to be walked in the dark alone, okay, without a single light ahead of you to navigate by. You got people that are helping you and guiding you with support, and the team of doctors and nurses that are helping in your progress. Now, consider what it means to inspire a single person. Just one. Okay, not a crowd, not a movement, one human being who, at some quiet and desperate moment, happened to look up and search and happened to scroll to this video or to your video of your own and saw that what I'm doing and what you are doing, okay, or what you were about to be going through, and thought, if they can do that, then perhaps I can do this. Okay. Do not underestimate the gravity of that moment, that single thought that they may have, that small, fragile spark of possibility that can be implanted in their mind can alter the entire trajectory of a life. And that life will touch other lives, and those lives will touch others still. So the ripple does not stop at the edge of the water. It travels outward into distances you will never see and timelines you will never know, or I will ever know. You or I, we may never meet the person your story or my story reaches. You may never hear their name. You may never know what they were carrying when they found your work, or how heavy the weight had become. But the testimony stands regardless. You put the record into the world, and the world does with it what it must. So there's a quote, I can't remember who it is, but the smallest act of genuine courage, faithfully documented, becomes a lantern in the darkness for those whose path you cannot see. Now, all of this I'm going through as I'm documenting. Let's talk about how where the power comes from, where the energy comes from, where this breakthroughs come from. Okay, so it's not my power. So let's start talking about where the credit is due of where this power is coming from. You know what I'm talking about. Now, here's where I want you to pay careful attention, because this is the part that most people get completely wrong. We live in an age intoxicated by the mythology of the self-made individual, the lone architect of his own destiny, the master of his own fate, owing nothing to anyone or anything beyond his own sweat and his own will. Yeah, that story is seductive. It is intoxicating. It is also, at its core, profoundly incomplete. Because here's the truth that every honest person eventually arrives at. If they are paying attention, the strength that carried you through was not manufactured from nothing. The will that held when everything else collapsed did not originate inside you. Something greater was operating, steadily, quietly, with patience that exceeds human comprehension. And it was moving through you, not because of you. Here's another quote. Every great thing that has happened in a journey, every victory, every breakthrough, every moment where the impossible becomes possible was authored by God. I, in this journey, am only the instrument. But keep in mind, okay, keep this in mind. This is not weakness. This is not the language of someone who has abandoned personal responsibility. It's quite the opposite. To acknowledge the source of your strength is the most clear-eyed, most courageous thing a person can do. It requires you to set aside the ego, to look honestly at what you are, and to say with full sincerity and zero performance, I did not do this alone. I could not have done this alone. And I refuse to stand here and pretend otherwise. Because the glory belongs somewhere else. There is a phrase that has echoed through centuries of human suffering and human triumph, spoken by people who understand something that our comfortable modern age tends to forget. To God be the glory. Not as a formality, not as a polite footnote at the bottom of a success story, but as a full and deliberate acknowledgement of where the power actually resides. Every good thing that has materialized through the situation or challenge, right, through this, especially with me, through this situation, challenge of being heart failure, going to heart transplant, okay, this physical transformation is going to be coming. The mental fortitude developed while I'm here in the early morning darkness, the discipline that held me when motivation is beginning to evaporate, and the consistency that has continued when no one was watching, here in this little cave of a hospital room. None of it was produced by personal willpower alone. Through prayer and meditation that I do here, it was sustained by something that does not tire, does not quit, does not abandon its purpose halfway through. God set the conditions. God ordered the steps. God placed the right challenges at the right moments to forge exactly the character that was needed. And God, not ambition, not pride, not the hunger for external validation, God is the reason any of this is worth documenting at all. So do not mistake the vessel for the source. The water is not the river. The lamp is not the light. Give credit where credit has always belonged, to God. So what does this mean for you? Or even further for me? If you're seeing this, if you stumble across a difficult journey at some point in your own story, then I want you to hear this directly. You are not too far behind. You are not too broken. You have not accumulated too many failed attempts, too many abandoned commitments, too many mornings where you looked at the mirror and decided that this was simply not your story to tell. None of that is final. None of it is permanent. None of it is identity. The same power that is moving through this challenge, through my situation, is available to you. It has always been available to you. It is not rationed. It is not reserved for exceptional people with exceptional gifts. It is offered freely, unconditionally, to anyone willing to show up genuinely, honestly, imperfectly, and do the work. Okay. So begin, not tomorrow, not when the circumstances are better, not when you feel ready, because the feeling of readiness is a lie that the fearful mind tells to postpone the necessary confrontation with difficulty. Begin now. Begin imperfectly. Begin with nothing more than the decision that you will not remain where you are. Take the first step, however small, however faltering, and trust that the power which carried others through has not forgotten your name. And at the end of all of this, at the end of every rep, every sunrise, every morning, every sacrifice, every moment of genuine and hard-won progress, there's only one accounting that carries any real weight. Not the number of followers who witnessed it, not the accolades or the metrics or the measurements of external success, not even the transformation itself, as remarkable as it may be or will be. The only accounting that matters is this. Did you bear honest witness to what was given to you? Did you receive the gift faithfully, use it honorably, and then crucially point back toward the source with integrity and gratitude? If you did that, if even one person found a foothold of their own wall because of the record you left behind, then the purpose was fulfilled. Then the work was not wasted. Then the journey meant exactly what it was supposed to mean. So, all in all, to God be the glory, always and entirely.